I don't know what was so special about the 11th of July in Australia, but we just had four pretty massive movies all come out today. Fly Me to the Moon, Kinds of Kindness, Twisters, and MaXXXine. I guess they're all going to be competing with each other in Australian cinemas at the moment, but I decided to see MaXXXine today because that was the one that I was most excited for, especially after the last two films in this trilogy by Ty West, Pearl and X. Now, MaXXXine is set 6 years after the events of X in 1985, and it follows her on her way to stardom while also dealing with her haunted past as depicted in the previous movie, while also dealing with a new serial killer in 1985 called the Night Stalker. I think what I like most about this film is the gory kills that are in it, and unlike a lot of other horror movie garbage that comes out these days that rely way too heavily on a rushed and overworked CGI department, MaXXXine has some incredibly well done props and makeup to bring to life some of the decapitated heads, pools of blood, and mutilated bodies of the sorry souls that are the victims of the Night Stalker. Also, two of the actors in this film that really took me by surprise are Elizabeth Debicki and Giancarlo Esposito. It should really come as a surprise to nobody that Giancarlo does an outstanding job here as Teddy Knight, who is the talent manager of MaXXXine, but he's not the typecast villainous role that he's been getting for the past 10 years in other movies and TV shows. He plays this really stereotypical Hollywood agent here and puts on this almost douchey American accent for this role, which is just so weird to hear come out of Giancarlo, but like I said, he plays the role really well, and it's unlike anything that I've seen him do in the past. And Elizabeth Debicki here plays this Hollywood director that is almost menacing to an extent. Like, she kind of reminded me of Meryl Streep from The Devil Wears Prada, because not only does she expect the attention of everyone around her, but the audience as well. Like, she was a real scene stealer in this movie. What I've liked most about this series so far is, while it is set in the horror genre, it doesn't solely rely on suspenseful music or gory kills to invoke fear in the audience. It also explores real-world themes like the exploitation of art in the pursuit of stardom like in X, or living a normal life among a pandemic like in Pearl, and in this movie, the real human experience of not living a life to its full potential and the fear of missing out. And Mia Goth is the actress, of course, that plays MaXXXine and is used as almost a shell here to push that theme of living a life to its fullest potential and trying to explore that fear of missing out. But I don't think a lot of the scenes in this movie or the script really gave her that room to explore that idea or really show the desperation her character has and that want and starvation for stardom. And that's probably my biggest flaw with the film, is that MaXXXine just falls a bit flat when it comes to showcasing that drive and desperation for stardom. But it's a shame because we know Mia Goth has those acting chops, because we saw that in Pearl and we saw how desperate and those lengths that she would go to for stardom. But for some reason, MaXXXine just doesn't have that same energy here. And I was a little disappointed because every scene that MaXXXine was in with another character, the other character totally eclipsed her, and their journey felt a lot more interesting to me than the main character. In the end, there's a lot to love about this movie. The time period it's set in is really well depicted. A lot of the side cast and characters are really interesting by themselves and are really well played. And there are some awesome gory kills to enjoy here too. Overall, I would say MaXXXine is solid. But also, don't take my word for it. I'm not a professional movie critic, and even those people are kind of made fun of these days. I'm just a dude talking shit on the internet, so I recommend going to see it and making your own opinions.